open? Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to In Conversation. I'm your host, Mary Lou Basaraba, and my first guests today are perhaps one of the youngest, definitely one of the only female orchestral conductors in Canada, Wanda Kaluzny, and a young tenor from Vancouver, Ben Hepner. Now, in case you don't know what either a tenor or a conductor is, you'll soon find out. Wanda, you're the conductor of the Montreal Chamber Orchestra. Tell me, what is it that conductors actually do for a living?
They work with the orchestra in preparing them for the concerts, in polishing up the pieces.
What about waving your arms around?
They do a lot of that too.
I mean, I'm sure most people think that conductors only wave their arms around.
Those are the ones in their living rooms. But yeah, all that waving has meaning. My little piano students think you're being a magician, and they had an impression that through waving the arms, I was letting the orchestra know what notes to play. They did not realize that the orchestra had music. They thought I was just creating this off the cuff.
But what a lovely idea.
Yeah, it would be kind of nice to be able to do that.
That's very interesting. How do you explain it to them, then, to small children, what it is that you do?
I tell them it's much like their lessons. Rehearsals are much like their lessons. We have a piece in front of us, and we decide how we want to play it, what sort of expression. And if there's a problem with the musical line, I try to help the musicians with it and try to get them to play their best. So in that way, it's almost like teaching, only en masse.
It's not actually a learning experience for the musicians, though. They are intended, I would imagine, to come as prepared as possible as they can, and then it's a collaboration, a joint effort to put the music
although
together.
Musically it can be a learning experience. They should, of course, know the notes and things, but just to show them.
I think there has to be a central guiding force in the orchestra that will make it that will focus all the musicians upon one way of performing the piece, because there are so many that if you don't have someone leading them in a particular direction, you will end up with a real cacophony of sound.
Mayhem.
Yeah, so in that way it is like teaching. Unlike what some people think, it's an incredible power trip. It's not really. You're not imposing your views. You're drawing them out of the musicians. You're showing them how you conceive of the piece.
How about for you, Ben, as a singer? Do you have the same kind of contact with the conductor that a musician might, that a violinist might?
It's slightly different in that I think the singer or the soloist in this instance contributes to part of the musical process. The conductor being I think the leader in that sense, but the soloist definitely contributes to the musical ideas of the orchestra.
Right,
so your situation is a little bit different then, because you're a soloist. You're by yourself in much of your expression, and everybody else accompanies you.
Right. That is my job mostly, is to follow what Ben wants to do with the music, and from what we've worked with before.
Are you like
just
a pianist then?
Yeah,
your
exactly.
position is the same?
Right. To follow the soloist and to enhance the interpretation rather than to fight with it. Although there have been instances of conductors and soloists fighting, but
oh, we hear about those stories all the time. Yeah. Aren't singers supposed to be prima donnas?
Yes.
Do you fight that image, or do you like that?
I don't think I have to. That's not a.
He does it naturally. No.
No, I don't think I have to fight the image. I prefer to remain who I am, and people can take me or leave me as that goes.
You must know non-singers, non-musicians, probably members of your family or not musicians or whatever. Do you think that average people have funny impressions of classical singers, classical musicians? What does that mean to most people?
Well, first of all, your parents are never sure how you make a living. You laugh, it's true. And
you don't actually work, right?
Well, yeah, they think, yeah, well, what are you going to do when you finish your music training?
When you grow up.
When you grow up. And I keep telling my brother that I do not want to be a truck driver like he is. But no, they do wonder, I think, how you manage to support yourself and things like that. Although my family, being very close to music, although none of them are really trained, are just ecstatic that one of them has decided to go into music and has the opportunity.
Ben, you're from a place that one would not imagine would produce a classical singer.
Careful.
Oh,
No.
all right. Correct me.
Dawson Creek, British Columbia. Mile 0 on the Alaska Highway.
Any other classical singers come from Dawson Creek?
I have no idea. There's a folk singer named Bim.
Does that feel like a strong part of your personal identity, that you
Oh,
came
yes.
from a place like that?
Oh yes, the rural background is certainly a very major part of why I am like I am.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You and John Vickers.
Well,
John Vickers is from a
Yeah.
small town in Saskatchewan, I think. He's a
Yeah, I
famous
think so.
operatic tenor. Is opera something that you hope to be doing?
I'm not gung-ho on doing opera, but I will do some if I have
You
the
look the
opportunity.
part. Strong, large tenor.
Yes, I can't hide it with radio anymore.
Tenors are always supposed to be like that.
I don't know, I've seen a lot of small, short tenors too.
That's true. How about you, Wanda? Is opera any part of your ambition? As the conductor of an orchestra, chances are pretty good that you work with singers quite a lot, and
Yeah.
perhaps under stage circumstances as well.
Yeah, I've done some amateur opera, but have not had a chance to do any professional work. But I love it. I mean, it would be marvelous to be able to do it.
How is that, conducting a whole group of singers who are standing on stage? Are they supposed to look at you?
They should. Do they? They often do, yes.
And is that an exciting kind of situation, to be in control of all these musicians and all of these singers standing on stage? And
It's especially exciting because of all the extra elements too, the visual and the choreography and everything just coming together. It's a lot of things to think about, but very, very exciting. And when it does all gel together, it's a very great feeling.
what are some of the plans for the Montreal Chamber Orchestra? What are your ambitions?
We're presenting a series of 4 concerts this season. But beyond that, we also do school concerts and concerts in hospitals and homes for the aged. And we try to take music out of the concert hall to people who would not normally come to hear it because, well, we just think people should be hearing chamber music more.
How are you funded? Do you have grants to do this?
We're funded minimally by government grants, but mostly through corporations. We also have a grant from New York from a group called the Music Performance Trust Fund, which enables us...
Funding from New York?
Yes. They get their funding from the recording industry, and the monies have to be used for performances that are live and free, so that our series of concerts, which we give downtown, are all free and open to the general public.
Tremendous. That sounds really interesting. I'm surprised to hear that a small group from Montreal will be getting funding from New York. Is that
Well,
unusual?
No, they work through North America. The Musicians Guild is a union which is North America-wide, and the Guild acts as a liaison in between the Music Performance Trust Fund and the groups who are interested in doing this sort of thing.
You mentioned recording because this company is involved as a recording element.
Well, there was some sort of law or whatever passed in the States, I think in the middle of the century, in the 50s or so, because musicians were worried that the recording industry was taking over from live music. So the recording industry is obliged to give a certain percentage of their profits into the Music Performance Trust Fund to guarantee live music.
Are you hoping that the Chamber Orchestra will do some recording? Have you done any recording to date?
We've only done radio things. We have not cut an LP yet. We're hoping one
Cut
day.
an LP. You don't think of that in terms of classical music. People, rock musicians, cut records and things like that.
We do it too.
Is that, I mean, you're obviously both very personable people. You're young. I don't see that it's a heavy, highbrow thing for you, serious classical music. Do you have to fight that image at all?
No. No. I have to create some sort of an image of the other way, I think. A little too earthy at times.
Really? I'm surprised to hear that. I mean, how do you think that serious music is now that accessible to the general public, that it's not a matter of explaining anymore?
Well, we found both mixed reactions. I think people are getting into classical music more, but also they're often afraid. I mean, times when we've gone out on location to do concerts and people have heard us without really planning to, they've realized that they did enjoy it, whereas they would have thought that they either had to know a lot about the music in order to go to a concert hall to listen to it.
So you're not struggling with music for the masses or anything like that? Do you think that people are ready and willing and open to listen?
They seem to be. Yeah.
In my experience, in doing a recital or a concert, I always try to find a balance that the audience will enjoy, trying to take into consideration the people who want to hear you do something really interesting musically, and those who come because maybe they know you from some other place, from a other kind of community organization or something. So they know you on a personal level, but not really musical. And to try and find something for them is a very big challenge. As a matter of fact, I think I enjoy that more than doing the more serious, if I could use that word.
Usually a classical singer will do that. You can see them let down their hair when they do a folk song, even though they're doing it in good voice and they're working perhaps much as hard vocally as they would on a serious opera aria or something like that. But you can see that they generally enjoy that element a little bit more. Or is that a fair thing to say?
I'm not hep on all that many folk songs. I try to find some things that are a little more humorous, usually. I try to find the tongue-in-cheek kind. I appreciate kind of humor. And if the audience can then kind of realize that you're kidding yourself in many ways, I think they can really enjoy that.
So it's not difficult then to bring people close.
We've had a great deal of
classical
success
music.
with our audiences, and we seem to have developed a nice following in the short
Is it a
time that
struggle?
we've existed.
I mean, you haven't existed for that long, and it's a young orchestra. You're a young
Audience-wise, it
woman.
isn't a struggle. Funding is always a struggle, but then the orchestras that have existed for 100 years are also struggling with funding. So,
Do you have any trouble, Wanda, as a young woman, gaining the respect of the people that you're working with? Is that difficult?
with the musicians, no. If you know what you're doing, you find acceptance immediately. With sponsors, with the general public, sometimes you get a raised eyebrow or two.
How do you protect yourself?
I just do it.
Just do it.
I just conduct, and I just decide that
How
they'll
about,
accept it
how
sooner
about
or
going
later.
and asking them for money and things like that? Have you ever had any problem?
But people have had reservations, though not enough to really bother me. And then, of course, they can always come to concerts. And
I mean, conductors are supposed to be mad, wild-haired men, aren't they?
We're changing that image.
Mad, wild-haired women.
Right.
Mad, wild-haired women. But you're so neat, Wanda.
Thank you.
Well,
The wonders of television.
best of luck, both of you, with your wavings and your warblings. Oh dear, classical music is supposed to be serious, right? Well, thank you very much. And keep tuned. We'll be back with another guest in a few moments. And there we go. That's it.
Great.
Yeah. How was that for you?
That's fun.